But there are other kinds of way to think about God. There are enlightened religious people who would say God is the manifestation of the laws of physics in the universe. I don't have a problem with that. But is God the person who tells you who you should mate with and on what day you should eat what kind of food and is that your God? That's different from this other one that maybe just sort of put the universe into place.
Yo, what's up, guys? Soweto here, and you're listening to PodKasi. PodKasi, an evangelical show dedicated to bringing the gospel of Jesus Christ to the people of Soweto. Thank you, So for today's episode, we're going to be discussing if whether religion is a betrayal of intelligence. And so are you instinctive, is pug if you still believe in religion? Isn't that into abadala into abogogo nabomkhulu and can we make the argument that science has completely dismantled God? Can we say that anyone who believes in religion is like a fool or a buffoon? Can we make that assumption? Or can we make that statement? So in a world where seeing is believing, whereby if something awayiboni or it cannot be observed or tested, is it possible we can see the same thing but draw completely different conclusions? And so is it possible that I can see something, and from my position, let's say it's the number 6, and from your position it's the number 9? That is what I aim for us to discuss. So let's look at ancient Egypt, 2500 BC, that's 2500 BC. The worshippers of Ra bowed down to him and they proclaim that he is God. And so he is God. So they look at the sun, they name the sun Ra. And when they see the sun, they claim that the sun gave birth to all of life. So the trees in the sky, the birds in the air, every single thing, the sun gave birth to it, and they name it Ra. We move to Greece at 4 BC. In 4 BC, the Greek also look at the sun. They see the power and the majesty of the sun. They see how the sun gives light, how it gives heat, and how because of the sun, like plants are able to grow and we are able to become warm. And they say the sun is God, and they name it Helios. And they claim that Helios, when the sun moves across the sky, they claim that it is Helios in his horse-drawn wagon, and so they're like, yeah, that is God. We may look at these people and say, is it dumb, Liz? Is it dumb, Liz? Like, how can you say such a thing? And all. But the astrophysics Neil deGrasse Tyson had this to say.
You said, we are stardust.
Yes.
What does that mean?
For me, the most astonishing fact is that the molecules that comprise our body are traceable to the crucibles of the centers of stars that manufactured these elements from lighter versions of themselves and then exploded, scattering this enrichment across the galaxy into gas clouds that would later collapse to form next generation star systems. One of those star systems was ours. These atoms and molecules are in us because, in fact, the universe is in us. And we are not only figuratively, but literally stardust.
We are stardust. That's what he said. We are stardust. Now, my question is, what makes his views different from that of the ancient Greek and Egyptians? Because according to me, it's the same thing. But they saw the power and the majesty of the sun and they drew different conclusions. The Greek saw the sun and said it is Helios. The Egyptians saw the sun and they said it is Ra. They both had spiritual and religious feelings and they were like, this is God. This is God. Neil deGrasse Tyson draws a completely different conclusion. Because it's like, no, 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 no. No, 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 no. He believes in the God of Einstein, and that is the same God that Richard Dawkins believes in. He did not believe in a God who cares if whether you sin or not. He did not believe in a God who cares if whether you look at your neighbor lustfully or not. He believed in a God who of order. He believed in a God of beauty. He saw the beauty and the majesty of nature, the beauty and the majesty of the universe, and he was like, this is God. And when we read The God Delusion by Richard Dawkins, he explains the God of Einstein. He says that the God of Einstein is a metaphorical expression of the laws of physics. So according to them, the laws of physics, the laws that make what the universe is and how we see it, the laws of gravity, the laws of motion, and all those laws, those laws are God. So when Einstein was proclaiming, or when Einstein was saying God, that was God to him. So he did not believe in a God who is like a being or what, but he believed in a God, and so or a metaphorical God, the laws of physics. Now, the Bible clearly tells us that there's nothing new under the sun. So scientists, what scientists do not understand, what blows the minds of scientists is that how can a God who created everything and who made everything, who made the universe and all its beauty, who made the universe and all its majesty, why would he even care about human beings? Why would he even consider them? But this is not a new thought. This is not a revolutionary thought. We read in Psalm 8, Psalm chapter 8, and so from verse 3 to 9, where the psalmist also ponders the same thing. It's like, oh God, when I look at the heavens, when I look at the skies, and so when I consider the work of your hands, and so yenu muntu, and so yenu muntu, that you should even care about him. Why should you even care? Why should you even care? But the difference between the psalmist and most scientists is that the conclusions are different. The conclusions are different. We see the same evidence and we feel almost the same emotions. We look at nature and we become in awe. And be like, wow, there's something which is beyond me. But the conclusions that we draw from that are completely different. The psalmist looked at nature and was in awe and gave God all the glory. The scientist looked at nature and they were in awe and they gave creation the glory. They created their own God. Same with the Egyptians. The thinking of Neil deGrasse Tyson. Okay, let me say Dr. Neil deGrasse Tyson, and that's of the Egyptians, and that of the Greek, and so is the same. Because right now we can say, don't you dare compare what Dr. Tyson is saying to the beliefs of the Egyptians or the beliefs of the Greek. But we need to consider that at the time, Egypt was a think tank. They had a very advanced civilization. Greece, some say, gave birth to math and philosophy. And many argue that the Greek actually stole maths from Egypt. People who are mostly Afrocentric, they're like, yeah, maths belongs to black people, and so on. So these civilizations at their time, they were think tanks. And right now, in this context, right now as we speak, America, like America is the think tank, ngithola. Is they are in control of the conversation. Yibo about developed, yibo about advanced, and right now science is the new religion. So the argument that I'm making, if whether religion is a betrayal of intellect, what I'm saying is that intellect gives birth to religion. Religion is not a betrayal of intellect, but it is the daughter or a child of intellect. Religion finds its origins from the from the imagination, or from the creativity of the human mind. Okay, so I guess you understand, or you see where I'm going, or maybe you completely disagree with me, and so you're like, nah, ain't no way that religion is the creation of the human mind or whatever, and how can you say what I believe in is the workings of my own mind? I believe that the other podcast titled "What is Religion" tries to answer that, but there's going to be a part 2 to this podcast. I didn't want to be I'm already a tall dude, so I'm full like long, but yeah. But if you have any opinions, anything, just drop your comments down in the comment section and let's have a discussion. This is Fiso Atamati and this is PodKasi.